John Plant, Mr. Primitive Technology himself, fellow Australian, fellow Queenslander. He's the one that they all went out and copied, all the other primitive channels that came out of Asia, wearing the same clothes as John and doing all that stuff. John does it legit. He doesn't fake it, and you can't say the same for a lot of the other channels. I thought today we'd have a look at John's best videos, or at least one of them. We'll go to his videos and check out his most popular video. I've watched a number of John's videos, but I actually don't think I've seen it. Alright, straight into the action. No mucking around, finishing off the axe. Yeah, see, I don't do primitive stuff because it's just using hand saws and axes and stuff. It still takes a lot of work. So to do what John does is just, yeah, it's crazy, insane the amount of effort that's got to go into it. Especially he's up in North Queensland with the humidity up there is just insane. Like down here it's very humid where I am, but he's got that all the time up there. So alright, some sort of pottery going on here. On my channel I've done primitive pottery and built a kiln and fired stuff in there, and it's, yeah, it's a lot of work and it's not a sure thing. Like the amount of times I've made things and they look good, and then when it came to firing they just cracked and fell apart on me. So it's kind of a hit and miss at times. I don't even remember what the title of this video was. Alright, tile roof hut. Okay. I'm guessing he's prepping for the tiles. Geez, it's going to be a lot of work. I made adobe bricks for one of my shelters, and I made like 20 of them, and that took a huge amount of work just to make 20 bricks. So to make tiles for a shelter roof, yeah, that's the thing with Primitive Technology, John Plant. I'd like to know how long it takes him to make each video, because yeah, they look like a lot of work, and it's not something you're going to knock over in a day or two. You're just looking at his channel and how long he's been going for. I've got more videos on my channel. I'm not saying I'm better. He's got millions and millions more views than I've got. But what I mean is, he doesn't pump out a huge amount of videos, but the videos he puts out, yeah, there's a lot of time and effort that went into it. Like I built an earth shelter, and that took me 5.5 months to build, and that was using modern tools. So yeah, I hate to imagine how long it takes him to do some of the stuff he does on his channel. You look how many tiles he's got in that kiln, and it's not something you just fire it for like an hour and you're done. You have to fire that for hours, like, and keep putting wood in there for hours and hours and hours, and then you let it cool right down. Can't cool it down too quickly, you know. So this would be the next day, and this is just one batch. Look how big the shelter is, and what's he got in there, like maybe a dozen tiles? So what he's got on the roof there, that'd be maybe 1 or 2 firings, maybe 1. But yeah, you just look at how much he's got to go on both sides of that roof, and that's not including any breakages. I'm sure they didn't all turn out. And you can't just put a raging fire in there. You've got to bring it up the temperature slowly, otherwise, yeah, you get that heat shock and everything just breaks on you. So you saw that first row he did, and that was from 1 firing, and you look how many on there now. So that's have to be at least another 5 firings. So maybe he's got 6 firings at least to do one side. So it's a dozen firings. That's, yeah, you're looking at almost 2 weeks of just constantly feeding a fire to get it all those fired, not to mention the time to make them all. Yeah, crazy good work, John. I'm really happy for him, the fact that this video's had so many views, because yeah, the amount of work that's gone into just firing these tiles is just, yeah, it's insane. Man, wouldn't it suck, you get it all done like that and a branch comes down the storm and just shatters them all? That would suck big time. Not really sure what he's doing here. I don't know if you need a heated bed in the tropics. He's in far north Queensland, so it's hotter than where I am, and really high humidity. Or is he making a sauna? You don't really need that up there either. But I'd say you definitely don't need a heated bed in the tropics. Sorry, John, that's my one criticism of this shelter. Is one criticism is if you're in a cold climate, that'd be an awesome idea. But in the tropics, I guess it's just trying things out and learning and new skills, so that when he does possibly get to a cold climate, he's got that experience. I do the same thing. Some of the things I've done have been with the mindset that if I was in a different climate, a different environment, I could use the skills that I'd already practiced. So yeah, I've looked at making snowshoes, and I'm in the tropics. Yeah, I don't think John would have used that underfloor heating that often up there, but I would say this shelter would have had to have taken him months to build, like months and months. Maybe the fire under the floor is just to help dry all that clay that he's got going inside. Otherwise it'll stay moist in there for a long time. And if it's hotter on the outside than on the inside, things are going to start cracking, because you're going to have the outside of it drying, the inside's still moist, and as that's drying it's shrinking, but the inside's not. So by having the underfloor heating, he could have that going to warm the inside of the shelter up as well, to try to dry it evenly. I don't know if that's... Yeah, I'd like to talk to him and ask him the idea behind that, whether it's just trying out building an underfloor heating, or if it was served the purpose of actually helping with the drying process of all that clay. Got so caught up in looking at the video I didn't even drink my coffee, so that's always a good sign.